Hi, everybody. I'm back with my new podcast episode, which is on the topic Schizoid Personality Disorder. It's been approximately 2 months since I have recorded a new podcast episode. My last podcast episode was my 16th episode, and it was on bipolar disorder. So, I've been wanting to record a new podcast episode and it took me long time. I was busy somewhere else and I am hence guilty. I'm really feeling guilty about it that I haven't recorded for a long time. But I'm confident that once this episode ends, you will be as satisfied as I am after doing a lot of research on this disorder. So I studied a lot, I researched a lot before making this episode. As a culture, I would definitely mention that this episode is completely unedited, and today's date is 3rd of August. Day is Wednesday. Time is 1:53 p.m. India, New Delhi. So, today's topic is schizoid personality disorder. So, let me define schizoid personality disorder for you guys. So, I would say it's a pattern of detachment from social relationships, and it is a pattern of limited emotional expression in social settings. So, here is a twist: limited emotional expression only on social settings, not privately. Okay. I would also like to define personality disorder. I have already done two full episodes on narcissism, which is also a personality disorder. And I'm sure you are well acquainted with what is personality disorder. But still, if somebody has joined us mm, for the first time, they should know that personality disorders are long-standing pattern. Why long? Because it never ends. It's like a lifetime pattern of uh, thinking, behavior. You have set pattern of the way you think. You have set pattern of way you behave. Which leads to problems and interpersonal relationships issues, and many cause impairment or distress in the person with this disorder, because when you are unable to express, or have you heard of those situations where wife goes out in public with husband and comes back cribbing, oh, you didn't do this, or you did not say this, or you were not happy, or you did not like it. So she has, so every relationship, not only she, every relationship has some kind of expectation regarding the social setting, which hampers your interpersonal relationship in uh, private also. Okay, and when this distress is caused, it also impairs how that person who is afflicted with schizoid personality disorder would behave. Okay, so this is what is schizoid personality disorder. Now, what happens in a personality disorder? It basically mm, may reflect a potentially disruptive combination of personality traits, like I spoke about narcissism, which is at one end, the other one being low agreeableness, which is as small as, I would say, low agreeableness. Have you met someone who often talks to you and never ever agrees about anything on this earth? Okay, and you are like, oh my god, this person will definitely say no to whatever I'm going to say. Do you come across, uh, as in, have you come across someone like this, or do you know someone who does like this? So that person can be in schizoid personality disorder spectrum, I would say. Because see, you only get diagnosed when anything becomes severe, when it comes to mental illness. You never get diagnosed when it is there but not there. Okay, so it is hard to diagnose. it is, what happens is it becomes very difficult, and the life is not smooth enough, you know because when you are afflicted with schizoid personality disorder, the way you behave with the person, okay, in a relationship is not good, because their expectation is different. The way they react to your behavior is very different, and hence the life is not really smooth. Okay, so basically you are stressed, okay, because you have poorly treated someone. And those people for who you say that, oh, they don't care. Or when we have heard of fights saying he doesn't care, okay, so they actually don't care. And why they don't care? They don't care because they have, I would say, they don't get emotional feelings. So when they don't get it, how can they like pretend to get it? And hence they are like, even if something is happening to you, they are plain. So they can't react, they can't empathize with you, they can't help you, and hence there is a gap in the relationship. However, personality disorder leads people to function in everyday life. It is not that it will hamper your everyday routine. How normal or abnormal it is, it all depends. It all depends on the intensity of the disorder. Okay? And there are people also who say, oh, no, everything is good. They are in a denial mode. Okay, for them, everything is okay. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to get distressed. It's okay to avoid social setting. It's okay to be emotionally detached. Okay, but if you ask me, it's not okay. It's a symptom of some kind of disorder. These kind of people are typically loners. They are dreamers. They are prone to excessive daydreaming, and they form attachment to animals because they can't form attachment to human beings. And because being attached to human being uh, needs you to be in a give and take relationship. With animals also you give and take, but usually they don't come around and complain that, hey, you did not give me this, you did not do that, so that's kind of easy. uh, these kind of people are unable to form meaningful relationships with others. They may do solitary jobs, which others would define as difficult, such as night security watchman, such as, I would say, podcast artist, being a podcast artist, because then you will have to be a loner. You are writing or you're researching, and then you're talking to your own self if you're not inviting anybody else on your episode. So there is evidence indicating this disorder shares an underlying genetic architecture with schizophrenia. So I'm sure when I told you that the topic is schizoid personality disorder, you would be wondering, is it similar to schizophrenia or is it equal to schizophrenia? So I would say the answer is it comes under the schizophrenia spectrum. And for those whose like family members or people have had schizophrenia at any point in time, as in at any point in time when it get triggered and they were diagnosed with schizophrenia, so genetically it passes on. And very sadly it comes under the 30% bracket. So the heritability of uh, the genetic architecture is 30%, which is huge, I would say. And if you're talking about the two hallmarks of this cluster, which is why we call it cluster, because as per research DSM-5, so we labelize, we segregate the mental illness. So as per DSM-5 cluster A, which is a, I would say, kind of immediate intervention uh, kind of cluster. Disorders which need immediate intervention comes under DSM-5 cluster A. And if you ask about the main hallmarks of this cluster, is it is social awkwardness and withdrawal. And these two symptoms are common in both schizoid personality disorder and schizophrenia. The only major difference between these two disorders is in schizophrenia, you are away from reality. In schizoid personality disorder, you are very much in terms with reality. In schizophrenia, you are having hallucinations, and in schizophrenia, you are having, I would say, it's like a paranoid kind of feeling. You don't know what needs to be done, and your speech and your thinking is kind of distorted. It is also there in schizoid personality disorder, but it's different. You'll make out, because you are hallucinating. You see things which don't exist. You hear things which don't exist. Which is far away from what normal humans can understand. So that's why your speech and your thought process gets distorted. What are a few more symptoms of schizoid personality disorder? So you like solitary activities, as we discussed. You avoid social activities. You appear aloof and detached. You do not enjoy close relationship. You do not you're not interested in sexual experiences with another person. And you are definitely, because humans, you don't get humans, you are indifferent to praise or criticism. You show emotional coldness, and you show emotional coldness, and there is detachment, or you would say flattened expression. um, and even if you want to express things, you cannot express. Whenever you want to express things, you are unable to do that. You take pleasure in few activities, and you are not interested in life goals. You don't set any life goals for yourself. So as I said, it's a lifelong pattern. It's not a disease, and hence it cannot be cured. Once diagnosed, so first you go to a counselor. Once it diagnosed, you go to a psychiatrist. And then if you don't want to have medication, I won't suggest any medication. You should go for a therapy. And which therapy is good for it? So I would say CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, does wonder, where you lead a normal life. I won't say you will be very good with your relationships, but it will be like, okay, when the expectations are set right, you can sail through. And when is schizoid personality disorder diagnosed? So there is no such age bracket, I would say, where you can start seeing the symptoms of schizoid personality disorder. It's all scattered. But when it comes to schizophrenia, so I would say schizoid personality disorder is not at all subjective. So it's not a subjective distress kind of thing. Whereas in case of schizophrenia, you can see the onset of behavioral changes in early adulthood. When I say early adulthood, I mean tentatively from 17, 18 to 25. And this disorder shares some characteristics which we have already discussed, is inability to express, inability to connect with schizophrenia. Mm, so yeah, that's the only thing I would say. uh, Famous people I would like to mention, because see, I have made you feel as if it's a very big thing, um, but now I would like to talk about the positive things. So a loner can be a genius, because you get a lot of me time to focus on yourself, your hobby, your passion, your things, your work. So that's why you are always ahead of people, ahead of normal people who are busy out there making friends, partying, having a good time, working on their relationship, you know and still they're working, they're failing, they're working. Here you're not wasting time, because it's not going to work. That there is less emotional aspect to your personality, so you're focused. So famous personalities who are diagnosed with schizoid personality disorder are Albert Einstein, Peter Green, Mary Todd Linkard, Vaclav Nijinsky, Charles Darwin, Sigmund Freud, Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, and Karl Marx, to name few. So yeah, now it sounds better. Okay. So if you focus and if you know how to use, where to put in your efforts, hmm, what do you want from life? If somebody, as a mentor, as a parent, anybody, as a guru, can guide you, can channelize your energy, can inculcate a very good habit, can inculcate a passion since early childhood, then you can be a genius doing wonders. Okay, else what will happen? Else you will always be in a paradox. And what is a paradox? A mixture of unmixable and a combination of the incompatible, as we say. Like, for example, a sullen and cold outsider writes sensitive, insightful poetry. A withdrawn and aloof hermit agonizes from loneliness and abandonment. A gifted loser who knows everything but is unable to accomplish anything. So it's like, it can be enigma. You have the potential, but you don't know how to harness it, I would say. Okay, it's like an eccentric mathematician, a murky philosopher, or dazzling artist who don't know what to do with that creativity. I would say, for me, each and everything is kind of a creative work. Okay, so you have it in you, but you don't know how to make it fruitful. Schizoid can also bear a stigma, outcast, or even destitute. Although many famous people, as I mentioned, have schizoid characters, a discriminative attitude still is there, and it occurs as if there is something, I would say, very shamefully wrong about them. Because when you're not good with people, when you don't go out and party, when you don't invest time and energy in people, they boycott you, they outcast you. Okay, so publicly, if something comes, like for example voting, or you need help, you don't get it. So that kind of makes a very difficult thing for you. Okay, so for example, if you reach till the top, and then there's a rule that now voting will happen, so people will definitely vote to people who they connect well with, and they leave you. So that kind of problem you will, I would say, mm, somewhere down the line, you will, I would say, acknowledge that kind of problem. And as I spoke about CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps in this personality disorder, how does it really help? So I would say not all therapists, but if you find a perceptive therapist who looks at the same indifferent facade of schizoid but sees much more, noticing the closed shutters of detachment, then this therapist tries to catch some glimpses of what is happening behind them. And until a therapist sees what is happening behind them, then that therapy won't work for you. So you should as in make a good choice when it comes to choosing a therapist. And as I said, that if you have a passion and if you're focused and if you do this, you'll be better off. So how can we get there, of building a passion or finding yourself or learning a hobby? How can we reach there? So as I said, from early on, since your childhood, parents, teachers, everybody around you should be supportive enough. Okay. And the most important point which I realize is we teach our kids everything, but we don't teach them how to behave when they go out, how to handle difficult problems, how to handle somebody who bullies them, how to say no, how to say yes, how to mm, you know be, for example, be a good conversationalist, be a diplomat. Okay. So here I would say it is very important to inculcate organizational skills from early on. Even if you think the kid doesn't understand, even if you think it's a waste of time, whatever you think, I can assure you that if you're around them and if you're teaching them something, if you're telling them something, it's going there in their memory box, and someday they will open the memory box and use when it's needed the most. So keep doing that. Teach them what we say, how to be a street smart guy or a girl. So inculcating strong interpersonal connectedness and social skills, okay, and how to make your kids active, healthy, is a very important, I would say it would create a very important turning point in kids who are susceptible to schizoid personality disorder. But unfortunately, we will only come to know of it very late, when we have missed the bus. So till, I would say, the age of 13, we can give to our kids all we have. Because after 13, it's a tricky age. They won't listen to you anyways. So there might be exceptions, but I'm talking broadly about the major chunk of kids. They won't listen to you. And what happens when we develop a very positive and friendly atmosphere with our kid? With it, a child develops his or her affiliation system and how to connect to the world of people. They learn that as well. And without it, connecting with other human being is severely impaired. Have you seen parents telling the kid, okay, say hello to uncle, say hello to auntie? You know why? Because they don't know, they only teach them then. Okay. Because they want to show the world that, okay, see, we teach them. But if you have taught them enough, I don't think so that matters whether they say hello or hi. But most importantly, when they spend 8 hours, not 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours in school, I think that's good enough. And when you interact with their teacher, you interact with their school friends, and you come to know that they're very good in handling people, then you know that yes, they have learned it and they are managing it well. So here we come to an end of our schizoid personality disorder episode, and hope you like it. And I don't think so I've missed any major point, but if you think so, or if you liked my episode, or if you didn't like my episode, or in case you have any questions, you can write to me at preeti@blinkofani.in, PRRITI@blinkofanieye.in. Thank you. I'm really, really very happy that I have finished this episode, and yes, very soon I'll come with a new episode, and this time I think I'll come soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Enjoy.